we have now a especially special part of program to cover the narrative and songs of survivor Flory Jagoda, who's from Bosnia and has been living in Virginia since she fled. And so Janet Dunkelberger and Heather Spence, founding members of Laz Tiyas, women's Ladino singing group mentored by Flory Jagoda, will now present some of Flory's narrative to you through words and through songs.
Well, I hope all of you are familiar with Flory Jagoda, because a few minutes isn't enough to even begin to say wonderful things about her. But the theme that we're following of telling stories, preserving language and culture, she was right at the front of that whole movement. The good grace with which she survived, she felt incumbent upon her to carry forward the stories and the language, and she wrote songs in Ladino that told about the home life and the little things that might easily be forgotten, mostly about women and the home and how to raise your children and how to be married and be successful. So to begin with, I want to just mention that Flory Altaras Jagoda, her name was Altaras before she married, she came from a tiny town, but then they moved to the city. And when she was young, she got an accordion. And I think most people know of her as a guitarist, but the accordion was the part of her life that was very important up until 1994, when she was giving a concert at the Croatian embassy, and she had a stroke on stage. And after that, she couldn't play the accordion anymore. She didn't have the strength. But the accordion was so important to her, it saved her life. When her father sent her off to escape, he told her, take your accordion, it's called an armonica in Ladino, armonica, and he said, play, play. When you see the conductors on the train and they ask for your papers, play your armonica. And she escaped on the train, and she played, and people gathered round, and they sang, and she was saved by her armonica. So a few years ago, when Flory came to my house and she said, get me a candle. And I said, okay. She said, something important is about to happen. So we got a candle, and she lit the candle, and she said a prayer, and she said, I want your daughter Heather to have my armonica. And my daughter Heather is a cellist. It's a little different. But you don't say no to Flory, and it was a great honor. And Flory gave her a few lessons, much in the style that Flory had received her own lessons. So it was really an exciting time for us. And I wish Flory could be here tonight, but she unfortunately couldn't be. Her story with her harmonica was kind of sad, because before she escaped, she was happily taking lessons. And then one day they got yellow stars, and they had to wear them. And she went off happily to her lesson, and she got to her teacher's door, and the teacher opened the door and saw the yellow star and sent her away and said, no, I can't give you lessons anymore, we're done. And when she got back on the bus, she sat there with her accordion, and she was crying, and the woman next to her, who was not wearing a star, put her arm around her and said, it's okay, it'll be okay. And she felt so reassured that somebody was still being friendly to her. But it was devastating, because at that point she couldn't take lessons anymore. So when she was giving lessons to my daughter, she was remembering those really early days when she took lessons, and she'd play something and then have my daughter follow. It was very much sort of call and repeat type of lessons, but it was very exciting. So one of the first songs that she taught Heather to play was Buena Semana, which is greeting the week and a happy way to end the Sabbath and say hello to the coming week.
If you know the song, please feel free to sing along. If you don't know the song, well, you're about to learn it, and If you can figure out the words, great. If not, just hum along. I think one of the great legacies of Flory Jagoda is to share the Ladino, the language and also the feel of the music, so please join in.
They're also instructive. You're supposed to be a forward-looking, optimistic person.
Buena semana, Mostelio. Buena semana, Mostelio. Buena semana, Mostelio. Salud y vida. Buena semana, Mostelio. Salud y vida. Que mis filhos vengan acá. Que mis filhos vengan acá. Para mudar la Torah, salud y vida. Para mudar la Torah, salud y vida. Para maldar con talasim, para maldar con talasim, para traer los tefilim, salud y vida. Para traer los tefilim, salud y vida. Buena semana, Mostelio. Buena semana, Mostelio. Buena semana, Mostelio. Salud y vida. Buena semana, Mostelio. Salud y vida. Buena semana, Mostelio, salud y vida. Buena semana, Mostelio, salud y vida.
So Flory said that every country, every culture has its story of the creation, and it's important to teach your children about the story of the creation. Many of her songs are for teaching to children. Ladino, as she explained it to us, was a language that was spoken in the home. Her nona was very important to her, and her nona said, "You're Jewish, you speak Ladino." And you spoke it in the home, and the women carried on this tradition, and they told their children the story of the creation. And this is the way Flory told the story of the creation.
The refrain goes, Que reposemos en Shabbat. So please join in on this one as well. Yo dicho que bueno era mundo que hubiera, él crió cielos y tierra, dijo la luz que fuera, que reposemos en Shabbat, que reposemos en Shabbat, que reposemos en Shabbat, en Shabbat. Vengan las aguas de toda parte, fuego con agua que sea mate. comandante, dicho el Yore comandante, que riposemos en Shabbat, que riposemos en Shabbat, que riposemos en Shabbat, que riposemos en Shabbat, en Shabbat. Ello dicho lluvias que hubiera, y él las bendiciera, la mar de peces se hinchera, aves volan por la tierra, que reposemos en Shabbat, que reposemos en Shabbat, que reposemos en Shabbat, en Shabbat. One more time. Que reposemos en Shabbat, que reposemos en Shabbat, que reposemos en Shabbat, en Shabbat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janet and Heather. And Flory means a lot to us. And one of the things that always sticks in my mind is, as Nona said, to continue in this way. And today we get to continue in that way in the Gold Room, here on Capitol Hill. That's very special.
Cuántos años mi cáliz aspira, las penas de la guerra olvidar, olvidar, penas olvidar.